Welcome, beautiful souls, to the power of Ra, and thank you for watching. This is Athien, and today is another day to be thankful for life, be thankful for you, and be thankful for learning about the mysteries of the Nile that provide you with the spiritual knowledge that is the medication of the brain and the spiritual food. Today, I'm going to pick up from where I left in the book of Coming Forth by Day, known as the Book of the Dead. Today, I'm going to read from Plate 1, Chapter 1, Verse 2. In Plate 1, Chapter 1, Verse 2, we are going to learn about the God Cabra and our car, our way of the world. So in this video, you're going to learn about how the creation about the Nile Valley. The creation is not to be understood like the Bible. No. The Bible will tell you about what God did in the beginning. God did this, God did that. The Book of the Dead, which is the book of Coming Forth by Day, is very different, because when you look at the word coming forth itself, the word coming forth is something that happens every day. So when you wake up every morning, you are coming forth by day. And this book is teaching you about how to awaken your soul within. So the book of Coming Forth by Day and the book of creation teach you that the creation happen every day. It happen every day through the change of your consciousness, through the change of your mind, through the change of your life. You see, this is what the Book of the Dead is about. And before I can read what I'm here, I wanted to touch about how the Kuchiat, the people where I came from, how did they really become part of this spiritual system, the spiritual system of the tree of life? How did they become the worshippers of the Hamun, God Hamun? I know that a lot of people know, because now the archaeologists, they have written about the Kemet, they have written about the Kuchiat, and a lot of people know, but not most of the Kuchiat. The Kuchiat themselves, especially the Kuchiat of nowadays, the Sudanese, they have no idea. They don't even know that they were Kuchiat. They don't even know that they were Nubia. Okay? So, the very brief history I can give about how the Kuchiat became the worshippers of Hamun, of God Hamun. The Kuchiat were not originally the worshippers of Hamun. They were not the believers of any spiritual system. So this spiritual system of God Hamun was brought to them by invasion in Kemet. The pharaoh of the 21st dynasty, Pharaoh Thutmose, brought this spiritual system to Kuchiat when he found the first city of Nubia, Nabita. he built the temple of Hamun, and that's how the Kuchiyat became the worshippers of Hamun. Okay, so we Kuchiyat were not originally the worshippers of Hamun, and so that the very little history I know. I know more than that, but that the very little part that I want to touch. So now let's get into what I'm here today. So today I am going to start reading the Book of the Dead, Plate 1, Chapter 2. And I'm going to start from Chapter 2 here, start with the hand, the human hand, and the snake, and another snake behind the snake. So I'm going to read from Chapter 2 and finish from Chapter 3. Okay, so I will read from the language it was written, and then I will read the English interpretation, and I will explain to you how this verse is related to your awakening. Okay, so it say, Jet Fe Hanej Rock Achi Ayam Hum Kabra Kamam Netru Kah Ke Uben Ke Ka Ke. So now it's reading the interpretation by I don't know the writer of this book, Wallace Batch. The interpretation of Wallace Batch said he, homage to thee. Who is thee? Thee is Ra. Homage to thee who has come, has Kabara, has the creator of all God. Thou rise, thou shine. Okay, so now, thou rise, thou shine. So Ra came as Kabara, and he was the creator of God. He rise and shine. So what does it mean? How does it relate to your subconsciousness? How does it relate to your subconsciousness? First of all, let's look at Ka. What is Ka? Ka represents our worldly way, our childish way. Is the way of the world. Okay? Thou rise. Okay? The Ka rise. Now let's go back to Kabra. Okay? Homage to thee who has come as Kabra. How do Ra become as Kabra? Why is he Kabra? First, let's look at the word Kabra. What is Kabra? What is this word? A Kabra is say a god Kabra, but Kabra is a word of create, form, or transform something bad into good. Transform something all into new. So Kabra in here is related to your subconsciousness, rising from the lower to the higher. Just like the Bible says, thou, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in heaven. Thy will be done in heaven mean rising from the world to heaven, to the higher self. Okay? So Kabra in here, Kabra, Ra rising has Kabra, and he's the God, he's the creator of gods. Okay, so Kabra here represent your consciousness changing from lower to the higher. And now why is Ra the creator of gods? Which gods? We only have one God. Why gods here? Do you remember what I say about gods in my last video? I explained what God are, but God is the same thing in in this um, this chapter here, chapter 2. So God of this chapter 2 also represent the ways of our worldly, okay? And Ra as the creator of gods. These represent the gods of your uh, emotion, your anger, your embarrassment. Okay, it's all about the change of your mood. Okay, but it takes more beyond that. Okay, Ra has the creator of gods. Okay, so Ra is the light of creation. It is a life force that support the creation. It allowed the creation to move based on what is written in the book. So in your life and in my life, Ra in my life is creating thing in my life based on what is written in my book. Okay, each of us when we are born, we have a book that has all the record about our ancestors, the karma, their karma, their curses, their sickness, everything about them, it in the book. And those karma, those curses, I am going to carry them on. Okay, and those karmas, they will give me, they will create a way of my life, the way I behave, my behavior, my attitude, my way of life. Okay, so the way I feel, the way I think will be based on what is in my life, as a curse, as a karma, as whatever. Okay, because you really need to know that people, the way people act, the way they feel, the way they do is not by accident. There is a life force behind what they do, because how they feel influence how they think, how they feel influence what they do. They feel, they think, they act, and they do. And it always something that is hidden in their life. It about what is in their bloodline. Okay, so um this is represent of Ra as the creator of God, because Ra can never change what is written in the book. Ra can only follow what is written, and giving the energy, giving the power, giving whatever is written in your life, is giving it the power. Okay, and that will show in your life at the way you live your life, your attitude, your behavior. You see, and Ra will be there guiding that what was written in your life. Okay, and it doesn't end there. What is written in your life, if it's written that you will change the bad thing in your life, has the way to break ancestral curses, ancestral karma, ancestral um, sickness, poverty, if it's written in your book, okay, you can change the quality of your life. Okay, you will work on it, and the life force, which is Ra, will change the quality of it. This is the meaning. Ka, rising, thou shine. Okay, that your childish way of life will change. You will change it. You will break it. You will break those curses, sickness, poverty, karma. Okay, and you will break them by changing your attitude. Change must happen in your mind, and that is how you can change your subconscious. This is how you can change your life. Okay, change must have to happen in your mind. Your thought about the life, your thought about what you do must have to change. Okay, so this is what really this verse is about. It's about you helping Ra to rise, okay, through transforming your life. Through Kabbalah is by you transforming your life, creating your life. You don't live your life as if what is written in the book. You have right to change what is written in your life. You have right to break what is the karma of your ancestors, curses of your ancestors. The activities that are showing that you have a karma, you have curses. You can break that, okay? And I have experienced that by breaking the anger in my life. I have experienced it by breaking the sadness. I have experienced it by becoming a forgive, forgiving others. Okay, before I was living my life in my lower way of life, my car. Now I have raised my car, I have risen my car, and I have changed the way I think, I have changed the way I feel, I have changed the way I see the life, and that shows that I have broken the issue of anger in my life. Okay, you can do the same thing too. Okay, and rise from your lower self to the higher self. Okay, so rising as a Kabbalah mean you rising from your lower life to your higher life, and that is um, uh, the knowledge. Okay, so the knowledge to change the your life is not something that you have to believe. It's a knowledge that you have to acquire by getting to know yourself better, getting to know your thought better, getting to know your feeling better, getting to study yourself and change your life. Okay? It's about the knowledge. It's not about the belief. Otherwise, if you're dealing with beliefs, you are dealing with ignorance. Because when you believe, you don't study yourself. You always have to deal with the believing on the thing you don't know. But when you study yourself, when you study your thought, when you study your feeling, that is where you get your knowledge. And this is where the people who have written the Torah, the Bible, and many other books, those people, they have written those books through the knowledge of self. They did not read those books through belief. No, they written those books through the knowledge of self. And this is what the book of the dead is about. The book of coming forth by day is the book that teaches you to awaken the soul within you by learning about your lower self and transform it to the higher self. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumb, share it with a friend, subscribe to the Power of Ra. And if you have any question, you can leave your question under this video. And until we meet again, enjoy, have peace, and be well. Peace.